Studio City is a neighborhood on the southernmost point of the San Fernando Valley, born of the entertainment industry and known as the Jewel of the Valley, attracting many musicians, actors, and writers, being a gateway to the West Side and Hollywood. Its prime location just north of Hollywood, but being in the San Fernando Valley gets you a lot of bang for your buck when moving to the area, and today I'm giving you the 7 things you need to know when moving to Studio City. What's going on, you guys? My name is Darren Kriz. I'm a local real estate agent and Native Angelino out here helping people every single day buy, sell, rent, and invest in property here in LA. If this is your first time on my channel, I post weekly informational videos about all things that you need to know about Los Angeles. So today, as I said, we are talking about 7 things that you might need to know when moving to Studio City. So we're just going to start with the first one here. First off, the Studio City Farmers Market. So a lot of people might not know, but there is a farmers market located just north of the Silver Triangle in Studio City. It is a Sunday farmers market that provides a great place for families to shop, buy some nice trinkets, go to a couple cool food spots, and there's also a petting zoo for the kids there, which is very unique. You will see a lot of other families around the farmers market on Sundays that you might recognize from the local schools or just from your neighborhood walks, as Studio City is very walkable, but we are going to touch on that just here in a second. We're going to move on to the next one that is an incredible location. Although Studio City is far away from the beach, which is one of the cons here, Studio City is close to a lot of major freeways. The 101 and the 170 run right through the heart of Studio City. Then you also have the 5 and the 405 to both sides, split completely between. But I would say it is in the southern east point of the valley, so anyone that lives in the San Fernando Valley will go to Studio City for any restaurants you may need to go to, or if you're heading over to Hollywood on the west side. As I said, it is just north of Hollywood and just south of North Hollywood, but still in the San Fernando Valley. Anywhere you need to commute, Studio City is a great area to live because you are just a hop on the 101. You can get to downtown easily, or you can go through Laurel Canyon, Coldwater Canyon, get down to Beverly Hills or West Hollywood pretty efficiently. Like I said, the only downside is if you are a beachgoer, it's going to be hard to get out to the beach, to Santa Monica, to Venice, to Malibu. It's going to take maybe 45 minutes or so, maybe an hour with traffic going on the 101, the 405. You don't want to be stuck in rush hour between any of those freeways if you're heading to the beach. So Studio City can be a little bit inconvenient if you're trying to get some sun rays on over by the water. So the third thing on my list here is Universal Studios. Now, Studio City is known for being near a lot of studios. You have CBS, NBC, Warner Brothers Studios, which is technically in Burbank or Toluca Lake, and then the big one that we all know and love, Universal Studios. So when you're driving on the 101 heading down to Universal, you are going to see Universal Studios on the left side of the 101 and the tall buildings. You have the Sheraton Hotel right there. But personally for me, I actually grew up in the San Fernando Valley, and my mom actually worked near Universal Studios. So a lot of the time when we'd go to pick her up, I would spend a good amount of time over in Universal in City Walk, which I would highly recommend going to. City Walk is a nice area that almost will remind you of a Times Square vibes with all of the lights, the neon lights, the big screens. There's just a lot going on, especially when you're a kid. You're going to see all these lights, these restaurants. You don't know what you're going to do, but it's great for an adult too because there are over 30 different food spots to try. There are a couple shops there, and as you walk through City Walk, you will run into Universal Studios, the theme park, one of the bigger theme parks in Los Angeles. If you haven't been, I would highly recommend. They have a lot of great shows, a lot of great rides. Waterworld is an all-time classic, and then they have the tram ride, which will take you through the back lots of the Universal Studios that you'll see where they filmed a lot of great movies and TV shows that you know and love. There's just so much history over in Universal Studios in general. I haven't been there in quite a bit, but I would definitely recommend going maybe once a year, every other year, to just remember what it's like to go to Universal, because you only see this in LA, Florida, a couple other areas, but this is the mecca of where they would film at a lot of the studios. To anyone that knows of City Walk, there is this big King Kong neon sign slash statue that actually when I was there as a kid, I would get scared of that because it hangs right above the City Walk and you have to walk underneath it to get to one side of City Walk. And I was always afraid of it because the neon eyes of that gorilla of King Kong are just shining red. And I don't know, that was just one thing that would scare me as a kid. And I would just always remember walking through City Walk, just being afraid of the giant King Kong there. But that is an iconic area there in Studio City and City Walk. On to the next for number 4. There are so many different neighborhoods in Studio City. You might just think of Studio City as being in the hills south of Ventura. There are a lot of houses, a lot of celebrities. When they move out to Studio City that you might have heard of, will typically live up in the mountains. So technically those are the Hollywood Hills, but it's the valley side of the Hollywood Hills. So you can tell your friends, you can tell people that you live in the Hollywood Hills, but you're getting valley views. So it is a lot less expensive than if you're living on the opposite end of the hills where you're getting city views, downtown LA views from over there. So as we touch on a couple of the neighborhoods, we're going to run through them here. We have the Donnas up in the hills. We have Coldwater Canyon, which, as I said, Coldwater Canyon, that street will take you down to Beverly Hills. And Studio City cuts off at Mulholland. We have Landale Square, which is just south of the 101. Homes are a little bit less expensive up here because you're in the flat parts just north of Ventura Boulevard. We have Colfax Meadows. We have Long Ridge Estates, Beeman Park, Footbridge Square, the Silver Triangle, which there are a good amount of homes right there, which are all very walkable to many and most of the shops in Studio City. Sunswept Hill, which is a very small community. Wrightwood Estates, Fryman Canyon Estates, Sunshine Hill, Woodbridge Park. There are just so many neighborhoods that you might have known too much about, but I will give you guys more information on any of those neighborhoods if you want. Just leave a comment or send me an email down in the description. As I said, I'm helping people move every single day here to this beautiful city that I'll call home, so I'd be happy to help you guys. But let's move on to the next one, and that is about the Silver Triangle. So if you look on your map, on your Google Maps, when you're in Studio City or looking up what's around there, you will see the Silver Triangle on the Google Maps. You might not know what that is, but that is a small neighborhood that obviously it gets its name because it is shaped like a triangle, as you can see here from the map. But it is one of the most walkable areas. It is so central Studio City. It is right next to Ventura Boulevard. If you go south into Silver Triangle neighborhood, there are some new houses. So you can actually live in this part too. And if you walk just a couple blocks north, you can go to the farmer's market on Sundays as well and walk from your house. And just north of Ventura Boulevard, you have Ventura Place, which is a nice little small street. If you're more familiar with the city, you have Melrose Place, which there's an Alfred's. There's actually an Alfred's coffee shop also on Ventura Place. It's almost like a copycat, just a similar image to what Melrose Place is in West Hollywood in the city, but it's in the valley. You have a Jones on 3rd, which you'll have in West Hollywood too. You'll have a McConnell's ice cream spot. I don't try too many ice cream spots. Maybe like Salt and Straw is obviously a popular one, but I would have to say that McConnell's ice cream, if you guys try that, is one of the most unbelievable tasting ice creams you'll ever have. And I'm not like the biggest ice cream connoisseur, but I mean, obviously you know good ice cream when you're trying it. I would recommend going to that one. It's right on Ventura Place, north of the Silver Triangle, and it's walkable to a lot of the neighborhoods to Ventura, where a lot of the bars, restaurants, coffee shops are, and it's just something convenient to have because there aren't too many neighborhoods throughout the LA County that are very walkable to your day-to-day activities. Okay, next on my list is the amazing school district. So in Studio City, there is a phenomenal school district, one of the safest, one of the highest educated in the country. You have one of the top ranked public schools in Studio City is Carpenter Community Charter with grades K to 5. And as far as private schools go, there are 4 private elementaries and 3 private high schools. The best top-ranked private schools in Studio City consist of Campbell Hall and Harvard Westlake School. I have personal experience with Harvard Westlake School because I went to Chaminade College Prep, which is in the west side of the valley, and Harvard Westlake was in our division for sports. I played baseball in high school, so we would always travel to Harvard Westlake in Studio City, Sherman Oaks, and play against them. And they breed some of the best sports teams as well. They're usually at the top of their conference as far as all sports go because it's one of the more expensive and prestigious private schools, as it's literally tucked right between Beverly Hills, Studio City, and Sherman Oaks, some of the most high-end communities in all of Los Angeles. But as far as the school system goes around and near Studio City, if one of your questions is, does it have good schools in the area? Well, the answer is yes. But as far as schools go, and on to the next point on my list, is that Studio City is very diverse. So you're living in San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles, which is first off one of the most diverse neighborhoods, areas in, I don't want to be too biased or overstep my grounds here, in the entire country. As everyone knows, LA is super diverse, but in the Valley in general, you're going to get all mix of cultures. You're not going to feel out of place no matter who you are, young, old, whatever ethnicity you are. You can feel like you have a good place to live in Studio City. People of all cultures, young families, older couples, young adults, hardworking professionals, people just moving to LA that want to live near Hollywood but can't afford it yet, so have to live in the Valley, or people with a higher budget that want to live in Studio City because you get more bang for your buck. You can buy a $4 million house in Studio City with great views that might cost you about $10 million, just 5-10 minutes away in the Hollywood Hills. And last on my list of the 7 things that you need to know if you're going to move to Studio City is you got to know about Ventura Boulevard, because Ventura Boulevard is going to be a street that you're going to be on every day pretty much. If you're living in any of those neighborhoods that I mentioned, south of the boulevard or north of the boulevard around the 101, 170, you are going to need to know about Ventura Boulevard. You're probably going to memorize where every restaurant is, all your favorite bars, your favorite pizza spot, your favorite salad spot, your favorite coffee shop. Most of them will be on Ventura Boulevard. Ventura Boulevard is one of the most beautiful streets in all of LA, let alone the Valley, as you'll have the center divider with palm trees. When driving on the boulevard during sunset, you're just going to get the pink, beautiful California skies that just makes it feel like you're living in a dream, but you're living in the Valley in Los Angeles. Studio City really just has it all when it comes to things to do, places to go, let alone being in one of the most central locations in LA. So if you want to go somewhere else, you always can. But why would you have to when everything you'd want to do is in Studio City within walking distance, potentially, of a lot of the different neighborhoods? A couple of the restaurants in Ventura Boulevard there is actually a sushi row on Ventura Boulevard, and I'm a big fan of sushi. So I haven't tried all the sushi spots, but I know there are some of the best in LA. There are people who live an hour away from Studio City that I know drive all the way to Ventura in Studio City just to try specific sushi places because they know it is one of the best of the best. I haven't yet. I definitely need to make a trip and plan it out to go over there. You also have Firefly Restaurant, which I know is very popular. You have a couple of fun things to do. You have Pins Bowling Lane right on Ventura. You will see it on the left side when driving east. There's a Granville. There's a Rocco's, which is a great place to watch any sporting events, any Dodger games. I've been there. I've watched a few Dodger games there. It's a great environment, great sports bar vibe. And I'm sure just living there for a few weeks, you'll already get to know where your go-to spots are for lunch, for dinners, for going out, for living the nightlife, if you want to stay in Studio City. But if not, always you can just quick 10 minutes over the hill and get to any of your other favorite locations in the heart of LA. But that was pretty much it, guys, for my 7 things that you need to know if you're going to be moving to Studio City. If you want to know anything else about Studio City, my information is down in the description below, my email, my phone number. Just reach out to me anytime. As I said, I'm a local realtor. I help people every day buy, sell, rent, and invest in property here in LA. My team is willing to help you with any of your questions, any of your needs. If you haven't hit the like button already, please hit the like button. I really appreciate it. It helps out the channel tremendously. Let me know what city you guys want to know more about, because I'm trying to cover it all on this channel. Hit the subscribe button for weekly informational videos about all things Los Angeles, and click the next video if you want to know what the cost of living might be in the Valley, which I made a video pretty recently on. So there it is. Click on that one. Appreciate you guys as always, and I'll see you on the next one.